This is for Mr Llapid, and thanks very much for answering my wee letter. I didn't really understand anything there, but I was for you. Of course I was. And Mr Netanyahu, and I've already posted to you, and it's just that I have to do this. I have to do this. So this is the first wee bit. Psalm 133. Behold how good a thing it is, and how becoming well, together such as brethren are, in unity to dwell. Like precious ointment on the head, that down the beard did flow, even Aaron's beard, and to the skirts of his garments go. As Hermon's dew, the dew that doth on Zion's hills descend, for there the blessing commands life that shall never end. And there's another thing that keeps me going, and that's when Zion's bondage God turned back, as men that dreamed were we. And I believe that they used to bring the tabernacle round the fields, and then they gleaned all the borders, etc. But when they saw the tabernacle coming, they were shouting with joy, So when Zion's bondage men turn back, I've lost my thread there, so just let me compose myself and go back again. When Zion's bondage men turn back, then filled with laughter was our voice, our tongue with melody. That man who bearing precious seed in going forth doth mourn, he joyful bringing back his sheaths, rejoicing shall return. So that's how important it is. Actually, look at the stator-meter, whatever. But I want to tell you again about Eddie, and I want to tell you that he insisted that it was the music, and it was there was a similarity. Now, I've noticed and I've thrived on the fact that these things mean to us. It's your spirit, it's your soul, And of course, that's the way to get on with people. We've got to respect each other's borders. And as I say, if I go to Egypt or somewhere, Abu Dhabi, and I want to have a wee drink, and I have a wee drink, hell's got it all the way home to me if I end up in jail, because that's the law. And the law is the law is the law is the law. That's it. So it was my fault. So there you are. So there's no problem there. I just hope that somebody gets through to the embassy and waking somebody up and helps and tries to get me out again. So, as I say, that's it. But of course, I followed everything concerning Israel. Very, very proud of everything that you've done. And of course, both refugees. Both. I know. And, I'm watching the news now. And, but, as I say, Eddie felt that the sounds, that there were similarities there. Same with the Greek dancing. It's got a sort of Scotch snap in it, so singing and dancing, that's the way. And they taught me Yiddish when I was in America. So here it is. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila venismacha, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila venismacha, Hava neranina, Hava neranina, Hava neranina venismacha, Hava neranina, Hava neranina, Hava neranina venismacha. Hoo-roo, hoo-roo, ahim, hurahim, avisameya, hurahim, avisameya, hurahim, avisameya, hurahim, hurahim, avisameya. Hi, hi, biri biri bim bam. Hi, hi, biri biri bim bam. Biri 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 biri. Hi, ya, biri biri bim bam. And so, Mr Netanyahu, I've studied in the. My father was so strict, and he never spoke much, crikey, and he worked in the newspapers, and there was a competition for a letter, and when they were putting mercury into the oranges, and it was a catastrophe for Israel then, because you made the desert grow. Listen, my teacher taught me that. He must have been there. He must have been part of the scene before you got back there, and he told us that the answer to the world's problem. There's the sun. There's the sun, and the power of the sun. Now they're getting round to it. Crikey. That was at the time I was when the Queen was coronated. That was when I was born in 1943. So that's how long ago, and still they've not got the message. Right. Anyway. So as I say, that's the way, and business is the way, and the way I understand it, and my tuppence worth is as much help as anybody, So, I've got proposals, and I've been putting proposals in and in. So there's a guy, there's a man in the Scottish Parliament, and his name is Alan, and I've not got the second bit, but he was the MSP that was involved in foreign affairs, etc. He's a farmer as well. So I'm going to leave it up to you. And I would, Mr Netinyahoo, I would like it if Mr Llapid would do the brokerage there, and that you manage to get on with each other, because it's actually pretty simple, and I've managed to get it worked out and the righteous Jew. And I worked for Mr Sprayrigan. He was a French Jew, and he lost everybody in the Holocaust. And they say, the lady that looked after us, Mrs Sullivan, she was a German, bombed out 3 times. And then she met a soldier, and his name was Sullivan, and he was a Cockney, and he used to go to Lourdes, and then he would come back and he would say to her, I will go on my hands and knees to get this holy water for you, and she'd say, I still want a bath. I want it in and out. I don't want to shower, but I want to soak and have it in and out. Anyway, all of these people. Now, in The Pianist, the woman that plays is the pianist's mother. She's got Trump on the brain, and he's a racist, and he's all this. And the whole of the Jewish community, they feel that they need to know the answer to this. Why do people do this to each other? Why? So anyway, I've been watching what you all do, and the fact that the problem in Africa and the flash floods, and then I'm watching tonight on the television, and they're digging holes, and they're trying, and the world is in danger. Okay, so I don't really see that there's anything else that I mean to say, want to say, or whatever, about the letter that I wrote in. I says it's perfectly simple. Cut the orange open. When you see where the mercury is, that's fine. Just put that aside. Then cut the next one straight open, that's fine. All the ones that have got mercury in them, take them back down to the greengrocers, and just tell them that as far as I'm concerned, The terrorists are not going to put me off the best orange that there is in the whole wide world. There you are. Oh, there's no rest for the weary.